Time for technology, new and nerdy. That's like Chris. He's new and nerdy. Chris Abel is here. RealChrisAbel.com and on socials, KrisAbel. If you want to go find him. But you're the bearer of it's Good News Tuesday, Chris, and you're bringing bad news today.
Am I bringing bad news?
Well, the Artemis thing.
Oh yeah.
That's sad.
It's just been postponed. So we'll be talking about Artemis in March.
Well, and I'm glad you brought it up because people need to know that it's not going to happen right away, and that we'll wait a few weeks. We'll talk about it a little bit more, and we'll dig into the nerdy stuff then. So
Yeah,
that's good.
bigger bad news if you're one of the astronauts that was all jived up to go
Could you
this
imagine
Sunday,
the
and now
nerves?
you got to wait another month. It's like
Yeah, the nerves would be crazy. I just can't imagine what they go through. Okay, so Artemis, we will get to that, but there's no launch to be talking about just yet. Anyway, maybe the team just wanted to watch the Super Bowl coming up this weekend or something like that. Next on the list, since Artemis isn't here, robots, confusion, and robots.
So, welcome to the 21st century, where one of the things we as a society have to deal with is constantly playing the game of wait, is that a robot or is that a human? So, this past week, a Chinese company called DroidUp unveiled the latest humanoid robot. And although in the past their robots have been criticized for being a little too human, this time they introduced a young woman named Moya. And she does have that doll like appearance to make sure that you don't immediately confuse her with being human. But the problem is they've given her very realistic nuances and behavior. So for example, when she walks into a room and she notices you, she'll maintain eye contact when she's interacting with you and talking to you. She has a very human gait as she walks into a room. Very much makes you feel like she's a woman. And then on top of that, get this, they've given her a human body temperature. So when you're standing next to her, you can actually sort of unconsciously feel the heat coming off of her body. So although visually you're looking at her and you're thinking, well, she's definitely a robot, the rest of your senses are being tricked and fooled. And so the initial response when they unveiled it is that people have seen it, have said that Moya is a little too real. There's that uncanny valley effect that's happening where your body's just constantly confused as to wait, is this human, is this robot, and not being able to immediately jump to a conclusion.
Yeah, it's weird. The interesting part is, when someone kind of looks over and their eyes move at a different turn than their head does. They kind of
Yeah.
look over and then their head turns. Those little nuanced things are the kinds of weird robot things that these guys are doing. Like it looks like, and then they blink as soon as they, like people do. Like
Yeah.
they kind of look over, blink, and turn their head, and that's the weird stuff. The walking is still kind of goofy, but
Uh-huh.
the video of that stuff is where I find it to be particularly weird. This particular doll looks like she's wearing like yoga pants. So
Mm.
she's got like a booty and everything. Like, I don't know. I like robots to look like robots, Chris.
Well, the flip side to this is that people, humans again, who work in customer service, receptionists, people who spend a lot of the time on the phones answering calls, amongst that industry, anyone who's normally would be considered to be very good at this, someone who's calm, well spoken, very nice to speak to on the phone. Their problem is that they're getting a hard time with customers who refuse to believe that they're human. That immediately they get these rude interactions where people try to cut them off and just say, make payment, or do voice commands that will skip
Oh, really?
through the whole thing. And they're having to say, hold on, no, you're hi, you're speaking to Mary. I'm a human being. Let's have a conversation about this. And it's just people are being very impatient and tired about this. And so what's happened is in the industry is that people who have this problem, who are so well spoken and calm, are having to learn new speech patterns to try to find a way that can sound more real rather than human being. And they refer to the phenomenon of people constantly trying to test them as being captured. Like they'll get off the phone line and go, man, that person just captured me. They insisted I was a robot and they were testing me. Can I spell this word? Can I answer this question? Just to try to see whether I was human or not.
It's kind of wild, actually.
Yeah.
You're too good at your job, therefore people attack you. Can you imagine that? Or you just conversation like this, and then you just kept saying, "Agent,
Yeah,
agent."
totally.
No, I'm a real person. Agent. Chris Abel, realchrisabel.com, and on the socials as well. Well, we're sniffing out the booze with robots too.
We are. So, do you remember the robot dogs that Boston Dynamics first introduced that were really kind of a nightmare? It sort of reminded everybody of the movie Terminator, this thing that looks like it should hunt you down in the woods and kill you.
Mhm.
I often wondered, and people have asked me, like, what is it that people are going to do with those robots? Well, I finally have a really good answer, and that's from Bacardi, the alcohol company. They have purchased a bunch of these robot dogs, and they're using them in their aging warehouses. So in Scotland, Bacardi has all these warehouses where they store wooden casks, barrels of all their whiskey. And the idea is that when you store whiskey in these barrels, and it takes about 3 years, slowly over time, the whiskey will turn into Scotch whiskey. But it has to be a very careful process. Part of it is that the aging is that it releases ethanol into the air. And you want to make sure that that's being released and it's minimal. So these robot dogs are released into the warehouses to roam autonomously, not on any kind of program schedule, but just go around sniffing for ethanol. They're looking to see which barrels, which casks are leaking a higher amount of ethanol than the rest. If you don't correct the casks that are leaking too much ethanol, then by the time you reach to the end of the 3 years, there's not going to be any alcohol left. It's all evaporated. So it's a very expensive loss that Bacardi's trying to lose. And so here they have dogs. It kind of reminds me of the St. Bernard, always with that relationship with alcohol. So now you've got robot dogs coming in to try to save whiskey to make sure that it becomes Scotch whiskey.
Except the barrel's not around the St. Bernard's neck this time.
No.
I think, see, this is what robots should be used for. I think this is great. This is exactly the kind of thing. All right, so from robots to reversing technology back to the simplest of the levels, Chris.
Well, here's a cool theory. We're about to talk about cats. And I'm going to pose a question that I want everybody to think about. You can come back to an answer to me later.
Okay.
But in terms of technology, it seems that dogs rule television. Anytime there's a TV show about pets, it's always about dogs. And yet cats rule the internet. Anytime there's a topic about pets on the internet, it tends to be cats. I've been trying to figure out which pet rules radio. I haven't yet come up with an answer, but if you got one for me,
go dogs.
Ahead. Let us know at the station. Yeah.
It's always dogs. Because the internet has trolls, therefore cats fit in. Dogs are nice.
So Lego has had a very popular set called the Tuxedo Cat. It's a black and white cat. Very, very popular build and put together. Well, due to huge fan demand, they released an orange version. It's coming out next month. So what's neat is it's orange and white. Same pieces, same model. There are some subtle nuances. The tail goes in the other direction. It has green eyes instead of brown eyes. But it's designed by Canadian Chris McVeigh, who purposely designed it so it can be hacked. So if you buy both sets, you can now create a black cat with green eyes if you want. Or what he's hoping to see is anyone who buys both sets, you can mix the black and orange pieces and create your own calico cat. So this is the first time Lego's ever done this. Often fans have done this on their own, but the first time that officially Lego's come up with a set that's in a different color and it's designed so that you can hack and mix the pieces to create your own breed of cat.
And its head turns too, which is kind of cool.
Its head turns, its mouth, paws open. Yeah, it's very posable. And again, designed by Canadian Chris McVeigh. So he's become a popular Lego designer.
Yeah. Now this is the kind of cat I could get behind. I don't like cats, but I this one is one that I could do this. This is good. All right. Thank you for this, real Chris Abel. I appreciate you being here, bud.
All right. Let me know if you know what pet rules radio.
Dogs.
I'm interested.
Thanks for being thanks for being here. KRISABEL, realchrisabel.com. Shane Hewitt and the Night Shift. It's okay. You can like cats. I'm just serious, but I'm just kidding at the same time.